Here's a number that should scare you. 30% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Not people who are unemployed, people with jobs. People who earn money every single month and still have nothing left by the 25th. And the worst part? Most of them will never know why, because nobody ever sat them down and taught them this. Today, I'm going to fix that. In the next 13 minutes, you're going to learn everything you need to know about budgeting from absolute zero. No complicated spreadsheets. No finance degree required. Just a clear, honest guide that actually works. Welcome to Front Ventures. Today, we're covering budgeting, one of the most important financial skills you'll ever learn. And I want to be upfront with you. This isn't going to be a fluffy motivational video. This is going to be practical, specific, and honest, including the parts most finance channels skip. Let's get into it. Here's everything we'll cover. I know it looks like a lot, but I promise each section is short, clear, and directly useful. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to build your first real budget tonight. Let's start at the very beginning. What is a budget? A budget is simply a plan for your money. That's it. Instead of wondering where your paycheck disappeared by the end of the month, a budget decides in advance where every single dollar goes. Think of it like a flight plan. A pilot doesn't just take off and hope for the best. They know exactly where they're going, how much fuel they need, and what to do if something goes wrong. A budget is your flight plan for your money. Without it, you're just hoping to land somewhere good. Before we go further, let's address the excuses, because I know some of you are already thinking of reasons why this doesn't apply to you. Excuse 1. I don't earn enough to budget. This is backwards. The less you earn, the more critical it is to plan every dollar. Excuse 2. It's too complicated. A basic budget takes 30 minutes to set up. One time. Excuse 3. The most expensive one. I'll start next month. I promise you, next month never comes. Every month you delay is money you'll never get back. Excuse 4. I use a budgeting app. Tracking where your money went is not the same as planning where it goes. One is looking in the rearview mirror. The other is looking at the road ahead. And excuse 5. Budgeting means I can't spend on fun. A good budget has a fun category built in. If it doesn't, it won't last 2 weeks. Before you build a single budget, you need to understand one critical distinction. Gross income versus net income. Your gross income is what your employer pays you, the number on your contract. Your net income is what actually lands in your bank account after taxes, Social Security, and any other deductions. These two numbers can be very different. If you earn $5,000 gross, you might only take home $3,500 net. And here's the rule. Always budget with your net income. Always. Budgeting with your gross income is one of the most common mistakes people make, and it will throw off every single calculation. Now let's talk about the 2 types of expenses you'll deal with. Fixed expenses are the same every month. Your rent, your loan payment, your insurance, your phone plan. These are easy to plan for because they don't change. Variable expenses are different every month. Groceries, going out, transport, clothing, hobbies. These are harder to predict. And this is exactly where most people lose control. A good budget locks in your fixed expenses first, then allocates what's left for variable spending. This is where your budget actually does its job, giving you control over the unpredictable. So why bother? Let's talk about what budgeting actually gives you. First, clarity. You always know exactly what's coming in and going out. No more mystery. Second, less stress. Studies consistently show that financial stress is the #1 source of anxiety for adults worldwide. A budget doesn't just help your bank account, it helps your mental health. Third, you reach your goals faster. Nothing big happens financially by accident. Houses, investments, early retirement, they all start with a plan. Fourth, you build wealth over time, not by earning more, but by controlling what you already have. Let me make this concrete. 2 people, exact same income, $3,000 a month. Person A has no budget. They pay rent, buy food, go out a few times, forget about a few subscriptions, and by the 28th, they have $47 left and genuinely no idea where the rest went. Person B has a budget. Same income, same city, same life, but they have a plan. In a month, $400 saved. That's $4,800 a year. Over 5 years, $24,000. And that's without any investment returns. Same income, completely different life. The only variable is the plan. Now the honest part. Budgeting has real challenges, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. First, discipline. The first 2 months are the hardest. Your brain is wired to spend freely. Rewiring that takes conscious effort. Second, life happens. Car repairs, medical bills, broken appliances. These things will always come up. That's exactly why we have an emergency fund, which I'll cover in a few minutes. Third, lifestyle inflation. Every time your income goes up, your spending tends to go up with it. A budget protects you from this trap. And fourth, old habits. If you spent 10 years buying coffee every morning, stopping feels painful. But habits change. Give it 90 days, and it becomes your new normal. Who needs a budget? Students, you're often living on very limited income. A budget is the difference between finishing the month okay and calling your parents for an emergency transfer. Families, you're managing multiple incomes, multiple expenses, and future planning all at once. Without a budget, it's controlled chaos at best. Professionals, you're earning more, but lifestyle inflation is your biggest enemy. The more you earn, the more important it becomes to have a plan. And anyone with a financial goal, a house, a car, a business, retirement, financial freedom, none of it happens without a plan. Bottom line, if money comes in and money goes out, you need a budget. Now let's talk frameworks. The most popular budgeting system in the world is the 50/30/20 rule. 50% of your net income goes to needs, the things you cannot live without. Rent, food, utilities, transport, insurance. 30% goes to wants, the things that make life enjoyable. Going out, streaming services, hobbies, shopping. And 20% goes to savings, your emergency fund, paying off debt, and investing for the future. It's simple, it's flexible, and it works for most people. But I want to be honest with you, it's not perfect for everyone. Here's what most finance videos won't tell you. The 50/30/20 rule doesn't work for everyone. If you live in New York, London, or Zurich, your rent alone might be 50% of your income. If you have significant debt, you probably need to put more than 20% toward paying it off. If you're on a lower income, your needs might take up 70 or 80%, leaving almost nothing for the other categories. And if you have aggressive financial goals, some people flip it to 50/10/40, putting 40% towards savings and investments. The 50/30/20 rule is a starting point, a framework to think with, not a law you have to follow. Adapt it to your reality. All right, let's build it. Step 1, calculate your net monthly income. Remember, net, not gross. Step 2, list every fixed expense. Rent, subscriptions, insurance, loan payments. These are non-negotiable. Step 3, estimate your variable expenses. Look at your last 3 months of bank statements and take the average. Be honest. Step 4, apply the 50/30/20 framework as a guide. See where you land. Step 5, identify where you can adjust. Maybe your wants are at 45%. Where can you trim? Maybe your savings are at 8%. How do you get to 20%? And step 6, the one most people skip, track it every single month. Compare what you planned to what actually happened. Adjust. A budget is a living document, not a one-time exercise. Here's the piece most budgeting videos skip completely: the emergency fund. An emergency fund is money you set aside specifically for unexpected expenses. Car repairs, medical bills, job loss, broken appliances. The rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. If your monthly costs are $2,000, you want $6,000 to $12,000 set aside. I know that sounds like a lot, but here's the thing, you don't build it overnight. You start small. Even $500 in a separate account changes everything. Because when the unexpected happens, and it will, you don't have to destroy your budget or go into debt to handle it. Your emergency fund is what keeps your financial plan alive when life tries to break it. What if you have debt? This changes your budget slightly, but not dramatically. First, Always pay at least a minimum on every debt every month. Missing payments destroys your credit score and adds fees. Second, with whatever extra money you have in your savings category, focus on paying down debt aggressively. There are two popular strategies. The avalanche method: pay off your highest interest debt first. This saves you the most money mathematically. The snowball method: pay off your smallest debt first regardless of interest rate. This gives you quick wins and builds momentum. Both work. The best method is the one you actually stick to. Once your debt is gone, redirect that money straight into savings and investments. Before we wrap up, the mistakes. Mistake 1: forgetting irregular expenses. Car insurance once a year, Christmas gifts, annual subscriptions. Divide these by 12 and add them to your monthly budget as a separate category. Mistake 2: being too strict. A budget with zero fun money will fail in 2 weeks. Build in a realistic amount for enjoyment. Mistake 3: not separating accounts. If your savings sit in the same account as you're spending money, they will get spent. Open a separate savings account. Out of sight, out of mind. Mistake 4: budgeting with gross income instead of net. We covered this. Always use what actually hits your account. And mistake 5: quitting after one bad month. One bad month is data, not failure. It tells you where to adjust. Keep going. Let's bring it all together. Budget with your net income. Always. Understand your fixed versus variable expenses. That's where control happens. Use 50/30/20 as a starting framework, but adapt it to your real situation. Build your emergency fund before you focus on investing. If you have debt, tackle it aggressively using either the avalanche or snowball method. And track your budget every single month. You won't be perfect. Nobody is. But consistent progress over time is how financial freedom is built. You now know more about personal finance than the majority of people around you. The only question is what you do with it. That's it for today. If you got value from this video, please leave a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Subscribe for a new finance video every week. And drop a comment below. I want to know, what is your biggest financial challenge right now? Saving? Debt? Not knowing where to start? Write it below, and I'll personally reply to every single comment. See you next week.